but the beginning is going to be kind of like Final Fantasy 1, where for each of your 4 characters, you can set up like their starting class and starting position and stuff like that. Right now, you're given just 4 characters at random, and they're given 4 random like positions. So there's 8 different positions in the game, and so we have a couple of strikers, a defender, and a supporter here. And this is also where you'll be able to equip different abilities. And so to start, like at the beginning of the game, you'll only be able to give each of your characters 1 ability at a time. And this is sort of a preview of what it's going to look like to learn new abilities, and you'll be able to learn abilities across different positions and equip, multiple at once. That's sort of what these locks are indicating here. And I'm thinking that each character will be able to equip up to 3 abilities for each battle. But then, like within the battle, you won't be able to change your loadout. So you'll kind of have to like look at what your enemy has in terms of abilities, and then try to set up, your equipment to take them on appropriately. But what's working is that you can actually, like, this is all actually working. So I can change like one of these strikers to have stiff arm instead of chasm. And then the rest of this looks good. And then I can go into a battle, and my equipped state will actually carry through to the battle, and any experience points that they earn and stuff like that will also persist. And then let's see, the computer's taking a couple turns here. Let me let them go. They're all like level 2, so they're a little bit stronger than me. But I can also like save the adventure right now and actually like kill the app, and then well, actually let me go back to the title screen, and then I can load the adventure, and it'll like start me off right in the middle of that battle that I was in, like the exact spot. So this is all like, it's starting to feel very much like a game with some of these little tweaks. And that's sort of where I'm at now. And then like I have a whole sort of like quest and mission system that needs to come in, where I can set up individual battles and like you going around to various areas on the map. But one of the things, like I said, that I need to do is similar to this screen, where you can kind of like click on one of these things and then change the ability. I want you to be able to do that with your position as well. So like if you wanted to change this character Billy from a caster into like a defender, you should be able to do that. So I haven't really thought through exactly how I'm going to do this, so I might fumble a bit on stream today, but yeah, we'll dig into it. It's going to be a lot of UI work. I did a bunch of work already so that positions are no longer hard coded on a player by player basis, and so it should be relatively straightforward. Okay, with that long intro out of the way, let's see if I can find that code. So I have an adventure HUD, and I think this is all just like one massive class right now. And let's see, ability overview behavior. I think this is, let's see, which one is this? Oh, image. Yeah, so this is like for one row on the right, just to orient myself. So let me run this again. Actually, I'm going to overwrite my quick save so I can just jump straight here. So for all this stuff on the left, I think this is part of the HUD, and then like it's part of the unit overview, which I reuse in a couple of other spots in the game. Oh, cool, thanks. What specifically is cool? I just showed a lot. I feel like. And then yeah, when you click on one of these, this is the, like each one of these rows, I think is the ability overview. And yeah, and I just have a prefab, and so I'm just instantiating like 8 different ones for each of the different possible abilities for each position. So I kind of want to copy this pattern. Where am I showing? Show units. From adventure game state on abilities button click. So yeah, cool. Yeah. It is all integrated now. So the reason you haven't seen it be integrated is because it wasn't until like a week ago, maybe, or within the last week. And there's still a long way to go, but I feel like I'm on the cusp of like just getting a few more systems in place, and then it's going to be really like 90% just like content creation of building out the rest of the game. So it's really a systems driven game, like not as much of a narrative driven game like we've kind of talked about. And so although there is lore and a backstory and stuff, and there will be hints of like what's happening, but it's going to be, you know, just about like building out the missions and quests and then like testing it out and making sure like the progression of your character builds makes sense, and that there's like cool like um, climaxes and bosses and stuff along the way, quote unquote bosses. I have some ideas for that. I'm going to save that for a future stream. It's a little teaser, something we'll work on in the future. Okay, so I have this abilities button clicked. And where is that? Oh, okay. So I have on next match, on abilities, and then I have this other button that I'm thinking, this lineup button, is where you'll set sort of your positions for each one. So we'll say on lineup button clicked. I don't know if the naming on all this is TBD, but this is just a listener. Whoops, lineup. This is a listener interface that allows the HUD to sort of like tell the overall adventure logic that a button was tapped. So, and then that's going to be right here actually. Cool. And I can implement it here. And so this should be enough to where if I click the lineup button, it's going to act the same way as the abilities button. Just make sure I have this working right. Cool. But when this button is pressed, I don't want any of these things to come up. I want it to just be, let's see, how do I want to do it? I don't want those to come up, and I want like a different UI to show up over here when you click one. Maybe I still need a button here of some kind to say like change position. Or maybe I can detect when you just click on the entire thing. It doesn't look very clickable though. Need to think through the UI. Anyway, let's get the buttons not showing up. So I'm gonna modify this to say, actually, I probably just want a separate method. So let me rename this, show units with abilities. And then a different method, refresh units. What is this? Come back to that. And then show units with positions, I guess. And then we have a different like hint here. I guess let's get the different hint. Is that in the hint table? Ah, okay. So we'll say world map lineup hint. Change the positions for each unit on your team. And then current position dictates like stat growth, move, jump, and evasion. Any and this is something I haven't implemented yet, but it's like I'm still deciding if I want to call them fantasy points or position points, but it's the equivalent of like job points or ability points from a Final Fantasy game. Position points would make sense because it's like going towards your position, and then you can use those points to learn an ability from that position. Change the position for each unit on your team. Current position dictates stat growth, move, jump, and evasion. Any should I just call it PP? Like Pokemon, right? PP earned from matches will count towards current unit's current position. Something like that. Yeah, I have to probably come back and edit that. All right, that's gonna come in right here. And then this is where should show abilities false. We don't want to show abilities. How does it know what abilities to do? Am I passing that in somehow too? Should show abilities. Oh, weird. Where is this referenced? Oh, it gets it from the ability state. Okay, it's just in there, I guess. That's fine. Am I like building that out somewhere? Update button view models. That's something different. Oh, it's passed in, I see. Okay. Cool. Yeah, they're like just already built. So if, in this case, I want to do show units with positions instead. So just by making those two tweaks, we should see some better hint text up at the top when we click the lineup button. And we shouldn't see like the ability buttons. Yep, change the position for each unit on your team. Current position dictates stat growth. This looks awful though. The hint text looks nice though. I had to make it scroll like a Chiron, like a news Chiron thing. I think that I have the overall UI for this set to 50/50. It's like hard coded. If I like go back here, like it's always 50%. It just looks nice here because it's a good natural spacing. for everything. Just trying to think if I want to do this. I guess just to start, like, just to get this working, probably put in like a big nasty button here that says change position. And then when you click it on the right, it'll show like all the other positions somehow that you can change to. Does that work? I think it works. So for that, we need to go into the view model for unit overview. Wait, where is it? Ah, I'm building it right here. So this guy is getting pretty large. Instead of should show abilities, I almost wonder if I need like an enum. So it can have like 3 or more different modes, you know? Because right now I'm doing like, if it should show abilities, do all this stuff. What makes the most sense? Because if I just add an extra Boolean, then I have all this weird logic where it's like sometimes checking this Boolean and sometimes not. Just wondering how gnarly that might be. It's only called in a couple of spots. I guess if I add it as an extra one, then maybe they'll just kind of stack on top of each other. I think that's gonna be simpler for now. Let's just try it. Should show position button, or should show change position. We'll make this an optional. Okay. And then in here, well, I guess let's we need a button. Let's add a button. This actually should be compiling right now, I think. No? Why isn't it compiling? Ah. Yeah, we actually need a button. Oh my gosh. It's Mark. It's Mark Youngquist. Thanks for joining, Mark. Let me read your question. What IDE are you using? Considering the switch from GMS to Unity or Godot? You're considering the switch from GMS to Unity or Godot. I am using, this is just Visual Studio Code. And it has pretty good integration with Unity on Mac. And yeah, it's pretty nice. So I'm just using VS Code. And yeah, I don't know much about Game Maker Studio, but like there's a bunch of I don't know, rumblings online about different engines and stuff, and like the best advice at the end of the day is, you know, you can make a great game in any engine, so just pick one that you like working with, and then you can focus on the game. That's my advice to you. I don't know if I were to start a new project today, I don't know what I would use. I'd probably use Unity just because I'm like pretty familiar with it at this point, but a lot of people really like Godot. It's officially a DN3 stream. Boy, Mark, you threw me off my game. I have no idea what I'm doing now. I didn't expect you to join. It's a very pleasant surprise. Yeah, if Game Maker Studio has a proprietary language, then that's a pretty compelling reason to not do that, because then your skills aren't very transferable. But C# is great. I think Godot is that C# as well? Or maybe that's C++, I don't know. Let's see, Matt says, I know this is going to be on Steam. Do you have wiggle room to make the UI smaller? You may have more space options for looking elegant if they were smaller. The buttons are very mobile friendly right now. Yeah, they are. They are. It's definitely very mobile friendly, which probably won't play super well on Steam. But yeah, I'll probably need to at some point go in and have like different modes where it can be like a PC mode versus a mobile mode. Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, whenever you can join, that's great. It's awesome to have you here. Yeah, it's C#. Yeah, C# is awesome. So I like C# a lot. All right, this is abilities panel. Guess I'll just change this into a change position panel. And then get rid of all these buttons. Yeah, well, yeah, there would be a lot of freedom. I also kind of thought, like, for this mode, my initial, like, I actually have a sketch for this mode that sort of almost had it playing out like on a field. So like you could picture like the field almost being like the license board or something like that from Final Fantasy 12, and like literally you like move your character around the board, and that would dictate like what position you are and like what ability you're learning and stuff like that. And so it wouldn't even be like it wouldn't even be UI based. It would be like more like in game. Let's see, I need a rect button. Small rect action button prefab. Is this the one I want? Wow, this is very cobwebby code. Change position button. Let's just see how far this gets us. How could I get Mark more excited? I know. It's pretty good. I should replay that game at some point. I didn't tell you guys I started playing some more Fire Emblem Engage last weekend. It's pretty sweet. I'm enjoying it. It's pretty low key, like it doesn't require too much like thumb movement, so it doesn't bother me that much, which is nice. All right, what all do we have here? Abilities container, and then just kind of copy this. So when I have a position container, and then unit action button behavior, is that, let's see, unit action button behavior. I think that's actually right. Let's see, change position button. Let me see if I can set these up. Oh, cool. Which character? All these assertions, I've mentioned this on the stream before, but like in Unity, it relies heavily on setting up like references via drag and drop, like through here. So like I just drag and drop some references over here, and 9 times out of 10 I forget to do that on my prefabs, and so I started just getting in the habit of whenever I add a new property that actually needs to be set, of adding assertions inside Awake, and so this will bark at me if I ever forget, and it makes it like cuts down on my debug time and everything pretty significantly. The Thief Girl. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not too terribly far in. I think I'm on chapter 5 or 6 or something like that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Ability button view models. Do I need this? Let's see. If overview view model dot should show change position, then I want to do, oh yeah, this is where I need a view model. So change position view model. Let me move these down. So this is going to be a unit action button view model, change position button view model. Colgate toothpaste main character side. It's a great Fire Emblem game. On that note, that's a great note to end on. So yeah, I'm glad you could watch. Mark, thanks for joining. If you get another break, feel free to come back. Or you can always check out VOD on the old treadmill. I'll see you, buddy. All right. Set up this view model. Where am I setting up the view models for the ability? Oh, I am actually getting it from the view model. I don't need to for this one. Like the abilities are actually sort of driven by yeah, like the current ability state. So I don't need that. But where do I want to set it up? I guess just inside Awake is probably fine. So I'll do it here. Okay, so for this, do I need an action? I have a different button. Oh yeah, is image visible? I can just like give it whatever and say the image is not visible. I think that's what I want. So we'll just say action button sheet. Unit action icons, and then I can just kind of give this whatever title. This is a localized title key, so we're gonna need to go add a new thing there. So we'll call this change position. Let me add that now before I forget. Change position. All right. Easy enough. And then what's next? Title arguments null. It's enabled. I guess true for now. Is visible true? Is image visible? We want this false. I should be naming these. I guess actually I can get rid of all these because it's just default value. It's image visible, pulse enabled, false. That looks right. All right. And then I can say change position button dot update view model and give it the view model. It needs an index. This is basically like an ID for the single listen. So the listener is going to be this. This is kind of like the one gnarly bit I have with this little architecture. I don't know why I did it this way. Where else am I calling this? In here. Just right here, and it's giving the index. So it should really, instead of like an int, it should be like a enum or something. A local enum. Let's give it just a constant. So we'll call this change position button index, and we'll give it like a large value, some kind. 99, I guess. It's fine. Okay. Ugh. Gonna put a warning in here. All right, you're gonna see where I'll use this here in a second. It'll make sense. So if I give this basically acts like an identifier for the button, the actual UI. Like this is the actual UI, and then this is the view model that drives it. And then this being passed in is a listener for the button. And so on button clicked, this passes in that index. So then I can, yeah, a lot of gross stuff here. I can actually handle it. So here I'm going to say if index equals change ability or change position, then handle that. And this is just going to kind of like forward on the note back up the UI. So I'm going to say on change position. Actually, I can just say on change position. Oh, interesting. I have like an on-end changeability too. I wonder if I'm going to need to follow that pattern. Like on begin change position for unit view model dot unit. So let's generate this method. Great. All right. This should have failed. It did. So this doesn't implement it. I think the HUD behavior is just passing, like doing a pass through. If I can find it. Yeah. So on begin change position. Okay. And then this one needs to, oops, where did I go? Changeability. Yeah, I'm gonna just reuse some of this stuff. So let me do one other thing here. Not doing that. This, I'm tracking a little bit of state here to say like what unit I'm working on, whether I'm changing the ability or the position. So rename that to be a little bit more generic, and then let me move these up here. So this class is adventure game state. So this is really where like all the business logic is for the adventure mode, for like when you're on the world map. So in this case, on begin change position, instead of showing abilities, I'm going to show positions. And what'll be kind of cool is I'll probably need to generate all of the view models for like all the positions, so you can actually see what the character would look like. Like wearing all the different outfits or whatever. So let's generate this method here. Show abilities. It's going to be kind of similar. It's going to be show positions. This will be a list of unit view models. And then the position I pass in here will represent sort of the currently equipped position, I guess. So let me rename this current position. I can keep using this ability container. It's not named right. But let's see, what do we do here? We're clear it out. Showing abilities unit view model. What's that used for? On ability position selection changed. Okay, I don't need that. Oh, you know what? I should maybe pass in the unit as well. So this basically just disables all the other units on the left-hand side after the button is clicked. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Should probably make sure the button actually shows up and does something. Let me just comment out the rest of this. And let's actually see where we're at. Yep, so this is gonna pass in unit, and then for now, I'm just gonna pass in a list of 1 with this unit view model for the current one. I'll write myself a little note. Expand view model list with all 8 positions. Okay. All right, let's see where we're at. Hey, cool. That's exactly what I wanted. Matt, to your point, like it's probably not ready to ship for PC yet, but it's okay. And then if I click this, all these guys get grayed out, and that's when the extra UI will show up over here. Oh, and you know what? I could maybe use some of this space to show like the stat changes that are going to happen. I'm going to think about it. Oh, whoops, that's showing up too. Didn't want that. Okay. Cool, so this is kind of working. Let's fix that one bug, I guess. So let's go back to unit overview behavior. And there's somewhere in here where I'm modifying the abilities container to not be enabled. Update abilities. Where's that called? Wonder if I should call that like update extras. Because this is called a couple of different spots. So I want to set the change position. Not the button. Where's the container? What did I call it? Oh, position container. That's fine, I guess. Dot set active. Dot should show change position. Okay, so now the button should only show up when we want it to. Rocket science. Oh, now it's not showing up there. But it's also not showing up there, so that's part of the problem fixed. But I don't know that I ever actually set this to true for the other case. Where am I calling that again? Right, yeah. Overview. No, this is not right. Oh, it's because I want this one. Okay, that should show abilities. And this is should show change position to true. Okay, now it should work. Okay, so it's there in that case, and not there in this case. So that's what we want. That's good. Now, if I click that, hang on, I want to understand how this works. It's pulsing. If I click it again, it goes back. Okay, so that's kind of nice. So if I click it again, then it should stop. So let's get that whole loop working. And part of that is going to be, I need to add like a non-end. So I'm going to need two more. I'm going to need an on-end, on-end change position, and then an on position changed. With the updated position that was selected. And then it'll be the responsibility of like the sort of logic game state to actually make the change. So let me add these to the interface. All right. Oh, wait. Did I delete one somehow? No, wait, hang on. Maybe I don't need this on position change because I don't have one for ability. Where on ability equipped? Hang on, where's this defined? On ability equipped? Oh, it's part of the ability overview. Okay. So this is where I want the on position changed. Oh no, no, I am gonna put the position change in the new thing. Uh, ability overview behavior listener. Yeah, so I'm gonna need something new for this. Come back to this. And then, okay. Yep, so this is where I'm gonna need like these kinds of things. So on in change position, and I think this probably just passes in the unit. Show positions, hide positions. All right, and then on position changed. It's kind of, my mind is all over the place with this. I'm just sketching out the code for what it's gonna look something like this. It's going through the view models. Interesting. Okay. Just throw yeah, not implemented. That way when I go to try to actually glue this all together, it'll blow up in my face. All right, hide positions, let's implement that. I wonder if, okay, yeah, just like any cleanup that we need. Showing units is showing abilities is showing positions. And then ability container transform. I think all the rest of this is the same. It's all fine. And then if we have any other special cleanup to do, we can do it here. Like we'll probably have a selection changed or something eventually for like a nice wheel showing all the different positions. We won't get to that today. That could be what it looks like, I think. And then where's show positions? We have sort of this thing here at the bottom. So is showing, if not, is showing positions, then show them. And fade in the other canvas. It's called an ability canvas right now, but I'm just kind of, it's more like the right hand side canvas. All right, that all looks good. And then I need to actually call, this gives you some appreciation for UI and video games. It's very finicky, fine-tuned stuff just to get like button presses working. Oh, if I have like this kind of check here, so I can say if change position button view model dot pulse enabled, which I don't think I actually have pulse working for the rect button. Hey, Digital Workbench, how are you? Thanks for joining the stream again. We're building a feature today to like change jobs, which I call positions. It's going a little bit slow at the moment, but it's all right. Okay, on end, begin. And then I kind of need this thing too. So this is going to be change position button view model. And then change position button. Update the view model again. This stuff isn't reactive yet. Okay, so now if I run this, slow is better than not going. That's right. Slow and steady wins the race. Just got to get better every day, right? Cool. So even though it's visually like not working, it's, I could change the text to say like cancel or something. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it for now. It's okay. I can live with it. I want to move on to the other cooler part. Yep. So that's all working right. And then this still works. Cool. So now let me think through what's next. So I think now what we need is, if we look here in the overall HUD behavior, we have this thing called show abilities. And this is responsible for going through and like listing out. So the analog here is if I click on one of the ability buttons on the left-hand side, like this, let's pick a good one, like this bullet, then it builds a list over here of all the different abilities so that you can change it to a different one. And so I want to use the same metaphor for changing your position. So basically, you click this, click change position, and we should see a list of all the different positions over here with like a description or something of what they do and any extra information. So we're going to need a new prefab for that. So we can kind of start like uncommenting some of this code and swapping it over. So let's see, what is this doing? So this first part is like the action button row. That's the thing at the top that ironically has the position names in it. This takes forever every time I want to like show this. I should just leave this up. So this row right here, where you can see like thrower, balancer, defender, striker, caster, etc. And you can click through these to see all the different abilities for each like job type. So actually, this is basically what we want. We just want it in a vertical list and to look nicer. So maybe we actually copy this. I think is more what we want. It's like kind of a mixture of the two. All right, I know I don't need this. Or rather, yeah, I don't need this. But I do need something kind of like this. And this is like basically going through each of the rows. So position in positions. Let's set up a list of the positions. Can I just change the container type to vertical? I could, but I want to, like, there's not enough information in there. So like I want you to see a little picture of what the guy will, like the little character will look like as that class, and maybe some extra information about like what abilities they can learn, or I don't know. I haven't thought it through yet, but it's not going to be quite as much as I want. Yeah, no problem, Matt. Thanks for stopping by again. It's always awesome having you here. Hope you have a great rest of your Friday and a good weekend. Tell the family hi. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know if we want these like in any particular order. Game breaker. What was it like? Striker, supporter. Oh wait, let me just copy these. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so we at least have some kind of hard-coded list, and then we'll instantiate some kind of new prefab for each of these. And it's going to look pretty similar to the one that we have for the action button row, or for the ability, what is it called? Ability overview behavior. So let's just comment this out for a second. What did I do above? Oh, I just did the enum get values. I could probably bring that down here too. Okay, so let's are we compiling? Let's build a new prefab based on the ability overview. Okay. So I'm actually even just going to duplicate this. So we'll call this position overview prefab. And it's going to have pretty similar structure overall. Image, name, action panel, equip button. Instead of equip, it's going to be called change. Description text. I mean, this is actually perfect, I think, for now. And then we just need different behavior for this. So let's build out a new behavior. What did I call it? Position overview. And it's going to be similar to this. All right, let's have Unity pick it up. All right, so this is going to be a position overview, behavior listener on position changed. This is where that was coming in from earlier. It's going to hook up with the code I wrote a while ago. Hopefully we all meet in the middle here. Position overview behavior, unit action button behavior listener. Yep. I don't know if I need access to any sprites. Maybe eventually when I have icons for each of the different positions. Call this change button. Unit action type, this is going to be a position instead. Ability, oh, a listener, so that's going to be this class. No sprite book. Okay, update position. This is basically just going to say what position is this row representing. And then a listener. So the stop position equals position. Image.sprites. We'll come back to that. Yeah, we'll come back to that. I'm gonna leave it commented out. Put cool picture of unit in position here. The name is going to be get position name key for the position. So this will localize the actual display of the position as well. The description for now, I guess, can be get position description. It's going to be a bit long for what we're showing. And then this, this is going to be what the like little button next to the position says. So it could be like change. For this, we'll say it's like current position. This is if it's already equipped, which I guess we can rename to like is current position. Not that. Okay, is current position. Then current position, otherwise change or like set. I don't know what a good verb is there. We don't have any unknown abilities or unknown positions. Oh my goodness. Then on button click, this will be a listener on position changed position. Cool. Let's put in these localized strings. The current position. So current position. And then, oh, you know what? I already have this change position. That's, it's gonna look weird to start, but I'm gonna go with it because that's a better verb for this. You know what I really need to change is the UI that's on the left-hand side. So, okay, this is actually like pretty close to what we want already, which is great. So now, is this all compiling? What I should be able to do is go over here and remove the ability overview script and change this with my new position overview script. All right, and my name event, this description is this, image is this, and then the change button is this. Boom. All right. Easy stuff. And then I need to go to the adventure HUD behavior and say, instead of a ability overview prefab, I need a position overview prefab. And this will be a type position overview behavior. All right. So I'm going to pull up my adventure HUD prefab. And then in here, it's missing a position overview prefab, so I can drag it in here. Oh, and let me do the thing where I should have like a null check for this, so make sure it's not null. And now that that's set, I can go back in. If you're following along, oh my gosh, like I don't know if I'm keeping that straight, but basically here, where we were gonna do show positions, and we had this commented out code, if you remember from however long ago that was, we needed a prefab to instantiate for each one of these things. And so now we have it. Okay, so we can instantiate the position overview prefab. Instead of saying update ability, we want to do update position with the position. And then we want to say if unit view model dot. Oh wait, hang on. Do I have a unit view model? That's right. I have a list. So oh, but I am passing in current position. Perfect. So if I say position equals current position. Yep, that looks great. And then we're going to need to pass in more here to get like the actual visual indication of what the character looks like. But we'll come back to that. I've already written way too much code without running. So now we just need to implement this interface. So I'll add that here. So it's a I position overview behavior listener. Which just needs this on position changed. Nailed it. Oh man. Okay. Perfect. And then I think when I call into this, it's going to crash because I have a not implemented exception. Okay. Update position. Oh, adventure HUD behavior also needs to implement. Yeah, I see. This needs to implement it too. There we go. Oh, compiler, should we try it? Should we see if this actually works? I mean, it working in this case, after all that like frantic coding, is we're gonna get a little error down here saying method not implemented, I think. So I'll be excited if I see that. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Look at that. It even says current position because they're a supporter. All right, so if I click change position, we should see the little not implemented. Okay, so for better or worse, I at least seem to understand what I'm doing. Okay, hang on. No translation found for blocker description and unit action hints. Oh, okay. So this is a kind of an interesting error because I'm not like when you're using localization keys, you have to have your tables that you're using aligned with whatever string you're using. So right here, this is still looking at unit action hints for the table collection instead of strings. So if I change this in the prefab to strings, then the description should actually fill in now. Dun, dun, dun. Depending on your intonation, that could be like a chime too, like dun, dun, dun. Assuming you meant the negative connotation. Here we go. Okay, so now all of our descriptions are in here. Which is probably not what we want, but I'm really just driving towards like some play testing where stuff just works, at least so you can play the game. All right. Cool. We can either get that implemented or we can get the fun little pictures showing up next. I want to get the fun pictures showing up. All right. How do I want to do that? So I have something called a unit representation provider. And this takes in a bunch of unit view models, but then it keys everything based off of the unit. Let me think here. Yeah, it's actually in build sprites for now is probably what we want. Yeah, this is keyed based off a unit. I want something that's keyed off of position because the position can change. So maybe I can just oh, you know what's interesting? How is this wait, how is this working? I just changed. Oh yeah, okay, instantiate unit prefab. These are this like has a position baked into it now, this unit view model thing. I'm trying to decide if I want to try to reuse this or if I should create a new one that's like position representation provider that's based off of a particular unit, and then that can build out all the sprites for that unit. Which by the way, I'm generating like all the sprites dynamically, which is why I need to do this. That probably makes more sense to build a new thing. So let me do that. Is this really under behaviors? Maybe under utils. I don't know. My code organization could use some help. Let's do position representation provider. And it's going to be pretty similar to the unit representation one. But it'll be a little different. Oh, that's interesting. This is a mono behavior. Why did I do that? I'll remember eventually. Okay. Do we want an interface? Just to speed this up a little bit, I'm going to not do that. Just hard code this for now. Position, representation provider. For now, I don't need the actual behaviors. Or wait, do I? No, I do. I do. Okay. Yeah, I need all this stuff. But instead of it being keyed off of unit, it's going to be keyed off of position. Actually, I don't need, do I need the HUD? Maybe I should just leave it in there for now. Why is this in here? Why does this need sound effects? Oh, I see. Dependency management. Okay. I guess that's fine. Totally fine. Unit view models. I think I can leave almost everything identical. It's just like setting everything based off of the position instead. Yep, exactly. So I create like the 3D model. I dynamically texture the 3D model based off of what team the player's on. And then I set them up like on a little stage and I take a picture of them. And that becomes like the little icon for them. And then I'm actually doing something similar for the actual real-time graphics too. It's not quite where I want it yet, but I'm trying to emulate some of those old games that used like this. It's not a good example because it doesn't hold up as well. But like Donkey Kong Country, I'm really more going after like Ogre Battle 64. I had like the 3D renders, you know, and then just swap through them. But I'm actually doing it in real time, so I get like proper 3D lighting and other things like that. All right. Get unit for behavior. I don't want that method. Get unit behavior for unit for position. Get unit head behavior, yeah. All these are just based off of position. I'm curious if there's a way I could make this a little bit more reusable with that other class, in case like I find a bug or something. Actually I could say, oh, this thing. It's like I need to make the type generic. Oh boy, here we go. I'm just going for it. Is this gonna work? Oh, that compiles, okay. And then here, actually, I think I can make the entire thing generic. Should I go back and do that? Because literally everything's going to be the same. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be brave and comment this out. So I just changed this, but I need this to be generic. Can I put? Yep. How do I do this? I think if I just put in T everywhere here, it'll just work. And then I can basically set one up for either unit or position. Ah, here's where it gets tricky. It needs to know how to get the key from this, but I can solve that. I think. Get unit for behavior, get T for behavior. Let me rename this. I don't know if this is gonna work. I might be totally derailing this here. I think it's worth it though. I think this is gonna work. And then these are all going to be T as well. Key and keys. Okay. I think everything is working except like there's one thing, which is that I need to pass in a function, like a lambda, where the consumer can say how to get the key from a view model. In one case, I'm going to return the unit. In the other case, I'm going to return a position. So that only needs to be done in here. So I think I want to func, and I forget how this works. I think it's unit, can be I unit B model to T. And And this will be like key provider, I guess. And then down here I can say var key equals key provider of a unit view model. Oh, that needs to go inside here. And change these to key. Oh my gosh. Ah, it's because I just put a new method here, at least in part. Let's add this to the interface. What else is it missing? Does not implement get T for behavior. Ah, because this needs to be T. There we go. Wow, okay. I think I did that right. Now this is gonna be busted. Oh my gosh, 27. Let me just do a find and replace. Because like everywhere I'm using this right now, it's gonna be based on unit, I believe. Except for the one place where it's defined. But I can just change this back. All right. Oh, now I have even more? Oh, wait, what did happen? Yeah, okay, that's more what I expected. Oh, and then this is in the adventure game state. Okay, so it's good. I think I could change that to an I. Oh, that's why I had it that way. Let me just go back and change those to, I don't know if I can actually instantiate it though. We'll see. Cannot be used as type parameter T in the generic typer method. Instantiate. Ah. Wow, it's actually gonna let me do that. Okay, cool. Here's the first inject. So this is where I need to pass in a lambda. It just says view model and return view model dot unit. Like that. So this is what's going to provide the key. Same thing here. Let's do this for some better organization. And then this is get T for behavior. Only using one spot. Oh man, everything's compiling. That's terrifying. Doesn't feel like everything should be compiling. All right, if we see the little guy show up, then this is working. Let's see here. For adventure states, adventure game state 134. I think like, I don't know if you can actually have a generic that inherits from a mono behavior. That's going to be the issue. Can you have a generic subclass of a mono behavior? No, Unity does not support that. Should have Googled that first. Darn it. Let me think. You know, I could at least still go to a like a generic string key, or even integer would probably be better. If I do integer, then it would work fine for both. And most of what I just did would work, except I need to get rid of all the t's. Oops is right. Oops is 100% right. It's getting too fancy, showing off. That didn't end well. But I think what I can do, I think I can do this here. Let's see if we can recover. Let's try to recover. Well, why is that not finding more cases? Oh, I see. Can I put a wildcard in here? Yeah, why isn't that working? Star? I don't know. Okay. Let's just do unit. Okay. Place all those. Place all those. And then I go to an int for all the keys. Then I can get this to work with at least any enum, which is all I want. This one case is going to be a little weird, but that's okay. All right. And then let me do a replace here with int. And then all these need to be changed over too. Okay. Getting closer. What doesn't this like? View model. Oh, is that in that function? Let's be an int. And that needs to be an int. Okay. I can use a unit ID here instead. That's the issue. Yeah. I call that in a lot of spots. Should have just copied and pasted it. All right, I have to go back. Gotta revert all this. That's a bummer. Just do it in Git. All right, let's see. All right, how close does that get me? Pretty close. That's good. Oh, and then Texture Atlas Manager. Now this actually, I think can maybe stay generic. Let me see. If I can at least reuse that, then that would be nice. I'll just revert this. Okay, that was a big oops. Let's see here. If we're back on track. It happens. All right, okay. All right, everything's working. Where was I? I believe I said I was brave, and I only commented out the code for that other thing. What was I even working on? This thing. It was a position representation provider. There we go. All right. Small sprite for position. Just finish getting all these translated over. For each, there we go. Should just make this a bar. Cool. All right. So now, how can this work? So I need to create a prefab for the position representation provider. I think I have one for the unit representation provider. And then I can feed that into the UI, like the HUD behavior. So yeah, so this is, it's a good question. So I've recently restructured this. So I'll just pull up the unit class for you. And a unit is now down to this. So it's like, they have a unique ID. And then they have like a skin tone, a hair color, an eye color, and a gender, and that's it. And so position is now completely a concept of like the state of the game. It's no longer tied to the unit. So yeah, so I reference the unit just to like be able to build out the model and their colors, not even the team colors. So the team colors are also part of like the game state that's fed in and associated with it. Hope that answers your question. Yep, so let's make one of these for position. And like that reference is going to carry through because it still takes in something called a unit view model. And so what I'm going to do is I can pass in, like a unit view model has a bunch of extra stuff that you're probably curious about, like, you know, what team they're on. This has all their color information, their unit. It also has their position now. And so what I can do is I can create 8 different unit view models, all for the same unit, but the position will be different on each one. So then it'll look like the same character just dressed up in 8 different styles. I can do this for like picking teams too, or like other things like that. At least that's the theory. See if I can get it done in the next 9 minutes. Okay, so this has a position representation provider prefab. And can I like drag here? Oh, this is kind of nice. So these are texture templates. So I actually go through and I go through pixel by pixel and modify the textures on these templates so it matches appropriate skin color, hair color, all that stuff. Remove that. All right, great. So now I have that. And then where am I actually going to need this? I think it's in the adventure HUD behavior. Because where am I going to show units with positions? Show abilities, show positions here is where I want to be able to like instantiate this thing and like get what I need out of it. The lifecycle management of this might get a little weird. That's okay. Okay, so I need public prefab here. So let's do public position representation provider. Ability container transform. Like that. And then I'll go ahead and set this up now. There. Then I'm actually going to need to like maintain an instance of this thing and clean it up, I think. So I'll have a private instance of this. Okay. And then when I do like show positions, I am going to say instantiate the position overview behavior prefab. Wait, why isn't it like this? Oh, position representation provider prefab, like that. And then when I hide positions, I need to destroy the instance. And I'll set it to null. Okay. Getting closer. And then I need to do an inject on this. And this is where it needs all the view models. Match vocal effect player, input device. I don't think it actually needs any of that other stuff. I think I can do nulls for all of that. Do I have unit view models? Oh, I do have unit view models. Okay, cool. Let me just see if I can get away with nulls on all this stuff. Transform here. Now what was I thinking? Oh, right. Inside this, I can pass in like the sprite. So let's take in sprite. Image.sprite equals sprite. Oh, spite. Okay. And so now for the first argument here, I can do position instance dot, what is it? Get small sprite for position, maybe? Yep, that looks right. But what are the unit view models being passed in here? Yeah, I just need to like actually build out these view models. And then I think this actually might work. Is 30 too old to get into coding and gaming? Not at all. Absolutely not. Unequivocal no. Yeah, absolutely not. It's never too late for anything, I think. I started coding when I was very young. Not terribly young. There's people that started coding before I did, but I started coding when I was like 16 in high school. They offered some courses. And I'm 40 now, so I've been coding for a long time, but I really only got into game dev recently. I mean, it's something I dabbled with, but like I'm taking it seriously now and trying to actually like make it my career. And I just started like at 40, so it's too old for you, way too old for me. I really don't think that's definitely not too old. I've had friends that switched to coding in their 30s and did like boot camp stuff, and it's worked out well for them. Just start, if it's what you want to do, just start. Like I think the thing that you don't want to do is wait any longer. If that's what you want to do, like live your life and do what you want to do. Don't let that hold you back for sure. And did you just subscribe? Thank you so much. Canicast, that's awesome. Appreciate having you here. Right, so here's where I'm building just a single unit view model. Where are these being passed in from? This is where things are going to get a little bit tricky. I might have to fake this a little bit right now. Let me just fake it for now. So let's do like a little link action. I think there's like a enum.getValues type of position. And we're going to build a list out of these, I guess. Hang on, how have I done this elsewhere? Oh, I need this cast. I need this thing. Yeah, let me try this. And these are actually going to be view models. So unit view model. So var view models. Pass that in here. Okay, so in this case, X is my position. So I want to return new unit view model. And here's where I'm just going to copy in a bunch of stuff from the current view model. So unit view model dot clear type, unit view model dot team, unit view model dot unit. Position is going to be the value that I bring in. Ability state, unit view model dot ability state, even though I don't think I really need this stuff. But maybe I'll move this over to a copy constructor so it's easier in the future if I need to do something similar. Okay, great. I think this might actually do it. Should we try? Oh. It mostly worked. Something is null. And they're tiny. What's null? Vocal effect player. How long have I been using Unity for? I've never used it professionally. I started messing with it as a hobby. How long ago is that? Boy, time flies. Probably like 10 years ago. And I'd already done a bunch of C# and .NET development before that. And I'd done some like custom graphics engine work. Yeah, I started using it like just in my spare time, probably about 10 years ago. I was working on like a 2D/3D platformer to kind of start using it. And then this project I started like about 8 years ago in earnest, and just worked on it in my spare time. I really didn't get a lot of time to work on it. I worked on it a lot for like the first year or so in my spare time, and then really not at all for like 6 or 7 years. And then just picked it back up in January. So off and on for like a decade, but I don't have a decade of experience in Unity for sure. Okay, so the dependencies I'm passing in, it's not letting me get away with it here, these nulls. So I need some more stuff. How can I get that stuff in? I'm probably gonna have to do that offline. You know what I want to do before I end the stream today though, is let's make those pictures a little bit bigger. So let's open up the position overview. And let's see, I have a vertical panel. The vertical panel is like panel and description text. But I think what I want is a horizontal panel with the image to the left. So it's like nice and big over here. And then I can have the name and description below. So let's do this. So I can change this to be horizontal. What kind of spacing did I have on this? 0 spacing. Oh, 8, 8, 8, 8. Okay. And then with the vertical panel inside here, and then I want to take the image out here. And the image, I want it to be basically like double, something more like that. And then let's put does this have a flexible height on it? Nope, don't want that. Yeah, let's just see how this looks, I guess. Let's put some spacing in here. There, something like that looks better. There we go. That's more like what I want. This panel no longer needs, I have a panel styling behavior. And so that was getting doubled up there. Cool. Yeah, like I said, it's not the flashiest thing. But it'll work for my playtesting, I think. I want to give this like a hard-coded width too. I need to do that on the other thing. Actually, maybe I want to put it on the action panel. Let's see. Yeah, let me make this a layout element and give it a preferred width of maybe like 200. Will this work? I don't understand why it's different sizes. Probably because of the name. Oh, do I have this set to flexible width? No? Strange. I'll have to debug that later. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, it's time for me to end the stream. But this was pretty productive. So like maybe on Monday, if you guys want, I can save the rest of this and we can finish getting this working where you can actually like come in here and click like change position and it'll, update her position and all that. But this is pretty good progress, I think, for today for a couple hours. So really appreciate everyone being here. Uh, it's awesome, and hope you all have a great Friday. If you haven't subscribed, appreciate a subscribe or a follow, and a like, of course, always helps with all my numbers and trying to get people interested in what I'm working on. So really appreciate y'all being here. So thanks for joining. And yeah, hopefully see you on Monday. Oh, that reminds me, my schedule next week is maybe going to be a little bit strange because it's my daughter's fall break. So my streaming might be a little bit haphazard. I think I'll be able to stream on Monday at a pretty similar time. So look out for that. But if not, maybe I'll send a little note out on the YouTube post letting you know when I'm going to be streaming. So yeah, until then, have a great Friday and a great weekend, everyone. Thanks.